Hello everyone. Good evening. Habari ya jioni. Popote uliko. Uh, Mimi niko hapa na ndugu yangu Miguda. Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama sana kakangu, niko mzima huku
Eh,
kupambana tu. Hali yako vipi?
Hali yangu iko shwari. Na kuna maneno ambao bado watu wanazungumza. Kuna baadhi katika mtandao na pia wale ambao nilipata nafasi ya kukutana nao nikawauliza maoni yao kuhusu uchaguzi wa Amerikani ambapo Trump alitokea kuwa mshindi. Wengi wako na hisia tofauti tofauti. Kuna wengi ambao wanakashifu sana mfumo ambao watu wa Democrat walitumia uh, ku, kumpatia ile ruhusa ya kugombea kama uh, rais. Wanasema mfumo huo haikupatiana sana watu kuchagua wale ambao ama kuchagua wale ambao wanataka. Pia baadhi ya vitu pia ambao watu wanasema ni kuwa sana sana katika nchi ambao tunasema kwamba wameendelea kidemokrasia, nchi nyingi tu ama watu wengi kutoka Afrika ukiangalia katika mtandao walikuwa wanasema sana sana hizi nchi sasa zisikuje huku kwa Afrika na watuambie ili uongozi, yani tukitaka uongozi kwa wanawake, kwa sababu wamepatiwa hiyo nafasi lakini wajafanyia haki, lakini kikuja Afrika watakuwa nasema lazima to promote like what we call women leadership. I don't know on your side whether you've met such like comments. And another thing also in Kenya, I saw people were writing to the ambassador of US, that he should he should come back. They were writing to the president, just won, President Trump, to make sure that he recall Megan Whitman. I don't know whether you've met such like comments on the internet.
Not only on internet, I've also made such comments. For those of us who are using public service vehicle,
Yeah.
whenever you are in the transit, majority of the older people, women, they're discussing about the elections of the United States of America. But to my surprise, I think today early in the morning, when I was moving from one place to the other, some women who are a bit, I think 55 years old, they were debating about the outcome of the elections of the United States of America. To my surprise, they were informed of. Some of them were saying that Trump, during campaign, Trump proposed that he's going to make sure that he sent all the black people from the United States of America. Then the question was, how can Trump do that? So there have been some smart propagandas in that vehicle. And one was also saying that Kamala Harris was rigged. So you ask them, how? Were they there? Are they the electoral observers? Are they just local people somewhere? So the people have commented deeply about the elections outcome of the United States of America. And also they say that the women ambassador, Megan, is going to be recalled back to United States of America because of her stand with the politics of Democrats. So it is something that is going on via internet or outside internet. People are discussing it. But let me tell you the fact: most of the older women in Kenya, they're disappointed with the Trump being the 47th voters. And also, I met young people who are, I think, grade 9 people. The grade 9, they were discussing about Trump and Biden and Kamala contest. So some were saying, this old man has been elected as the president of the United States of America. Then I was like, how old is he? They're telling me, this old man has bad policies. We never liked him. And those are just grade 9 students. So it is not going on viral on the internet. It's also even in the local village.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity to welcome one of our best, 199. Asante sana kwa kukuja. Naona hapo imetuandikia Mount Kenya has decided to fight spiritual war. Hi, tuambie unaendelea aje. You know, one thing that also I came to realize that this thing, the election that just took place, it is being discussed everywhere. But now, one thing that comes with it is lack of information. Yeah, there's some information that are not very true when is being displayed. You know, some maybe people get information from different areas or different platforms that are not giving true information of or the reality of the exact, so that is something that is there. So if you find people are talking about the policies and the old and what, but they don't look at what does the constitution of that country allow those people to run. So those are some of the things that you also have to put in place. And something also that is there, I told you earlier about the election. There are some blame game in the internet. As always, once you lose an election, there are those blame games that will always come. It is not the first time we are getting them, even from, especially people are saying the reason why Kamala lost to Trump. Some people do not want to take responsibility. You tend to shift the blame to somebody, but that is something that usually happens with politics. And with time, I was listening to one of the podcasters, and she said one thing that I think right now the Democrats should start uh, having a conversation with themselves, because somebody was saying that based on the results, it speaks a lot on them. So from now to the next election, they need to reorganize their house well, so that if they want to capture the house, remember, even right now they are losing the lower house. You know, so it is so much advantageous to President Trump in that he has the executive, he has the Senate, and he has the Congress all. So which means when it comes to policy implementation, he will be very good. Yeah. So that is something that is there. Let me see what my friend is saying here. Trump was to Trump was a blessing to most Mount Kenya. Kwa nini Mount Kenya? Hebu tuambie baba. Kwa nini alikuwa blessing to Mount Kenya? So hiyo ndio. So thank you so much, Miguda. I don't know whether you have something new on your side.
There are many things that are happening.
Yeah.
So the US election, it did not end at the declaration the result of Trump as the 47th voters, but it all goes viral even to the village point. The people living in the rural area, the interior part, the remote part of the
Mm.
Kenyan side were
Mhm.
privy to the information that Donald Trump was elected as the 47th voter. So you see how the importance elections of US are to the people, even the people are not informed. But there were too much propaganda on their analysis when
Yeah.
Trump won. They were not basing their argument on the facts, the elections laws of the United States of America. So I think it's good news that they are aware of what's going on in the world. But to add on what my one of our viewers said, that it was a blessing to Mount Kenya. Not only Mount Kenya, but even Gen Z were happy. You remember Gen Zs were against William Ruto and Biden
Yeah.
ally, form of an ally. They were,
Yeah.
when even Kenya was declared as non-NATO. Gen Zs did not like things like that. So I think it was a blessing to Mount Kenya, Gen Zs, and supporters of Rigiji, those who are anti-Ruto were really happy that Trump won that election. And I think even the people of Southern Africa are very happy. The
Yeah.
SADC community, South Africa Development Community, they are
Mm.
really happy because even the Arab nation in Africa are happy about the Trump victory. So Trump had it not only in America but across the globe. He had that support.
I think yeah, and the reason why even like you will find like the majority of African nations are kind of like aligned to or celebrating his win. I think because of his stance when it comes to the issue of reproductive health. You know, there are so many uh, um, issues or I mean like a conversation around reproductive health. You know, concerning even the let's say like the LGBT, you know, like he doesn't support the LGBT community. You know, he has his own stand or his own view on it, and you know, so the people who might be having their stand or their view on that, so might also support him. Let me see what my brother has written here. Cause Ruto hates Mount Kenya and Whitman lady was supporting Ruto. Okay. There's Judith Karwitha, asante sana kwa kukuja. On the Mashujaa Day, Ruto said Mount Kenya never fought for independence. It was a lady that died in 1914 that saved Kenya. Are you talking of Makatalili wa Mwenza? Yeah, that was from Makatalili was from Mijikenda, right? Yeah, okay. I think that's what my brother is talking about. So those are just comment. And Miguda, I want you to help us understand because like the appellate court yesterday said that they will be having hearing the case of Rigathi Gachagua next month between 20th of December, and we are waiting for that. And at the same time, uh, the former deputy president directed his council members or the legal team to withdraw the case before the appellate. That was uh, uh, it was about the three-judge bench. So what happens now?
Rigathi Gachagua had make an application earlier,
Yeah.
and when the conservatory orders were being dismissed,
Hmm.
and the conservatory orders that was blocking Kindiki from being sworn in was being
Yeah.
discharged,
Mhm.
the defense counsel from Rigathi Gachagua tried to make an application instantly, and there was an agreement from the respondent that that application had been made earlier in the Court of Appeal by
Yeah.
the defense counsel. So that was valid. So I think Rigathi Gachagua was just told the lawyer not from his side
Mhm.
supposed to an appeal
Mm.
about the recurse of the three-judge bench in the Court of Appeal because they were ready to proceed to argue that those three-judge bench were supposed to recuse themselves from hearing his case. So they are now not going to make that an appeal,
Yeah.
but the appeal they are already made. That's what the appeal notice which they made in the Court of Appeal. That is what the Court of Appeal has communicated back that they will have that hearing on the 20th date of 20th.
So the hearing is not going to be about the three-judge bench or and or what is going to happen? Is it about the three-judge bench or is about uh, the whole process of impeachment?
The appeal the appeal that is valid is not the one of three-judge bench to recuse themselves from the case of Rigathi Gachagua. That one now is not going to be appealed because
Okay.
the victim or the accused person has withdrawn from the appeal. Now
Yeah.
the what is at the Court of Appeal is the notice given by the defense counsel
Yeah.
to lift whether they wanted to discuss the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Now is about the impeachment process, not the recuse of the three-judge benches, not the position of that bench, Article 165.4. That's now a different one.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm seeing Pass Ngesa. Asante sana kwa kutuona, tuambie ama kutuangalia, kututazama. Kiswahili, Mako Bura anasema Kiswahili si mdomo chetu. Tuambie unatazama ukiwa wapi. So my brother, there's this what came out from uh, hey Makobura Barigani.
Niko salama nashukuru. How are you?
I'm good. Siku yako imekuwa aje?
Siku yangu imekuwa vyema nashukuru. Labda zenu?
Mimi ndazungumza kwa niaba yangu, siwezi zungumza kwa niaba ya ndugu yangu. Mimi kwangu ni nasema kwamba mimi niko mzuri, labda yeye anaweza zungumzia ya kwake.
Kakangu Makobura, mimi niko salama tu, labda changamoto za kawaida hapa na pale, hizo naye tumezoea, lakini niko sawa kabisa.
Okay, thank you. I hope our viewers are also okay, and we welcome them to Brother Benson Media. They should feel part and parcel of this media.
Okay. Thank you so much. Umesema siku yako imekuwa mzuri?
Yes, imekuwa vyema.
Okay, asante sana. Leo today we just want to weigh our thoughts on the nominated member of parliament, Sabina Chege. I think yesterday she was in central Kenya area, and one of the things that came out, or one of the things that she said was like that she was asking for Mount Kenya to support Kindiki, because one of the reasons she was giving that they cannot afford to be in opposition. That is one. And she also spoke about how calm the region is. Yeah, that was one. And also, she mentioned that all the leaders in positions like the MCA, the governors, the members of parliament, and women rep, they should be very humble while talking to the resident of Mount Kenya. And that is what was there. So my question to you is, why is she asking, or why is she saying that they cannot afford to be in opposition?
Okay. First, I allow me to say this, that Sabina Chege is she's a politician coming from the Mount Kenya region. At some point, she had a different opinion from this ruling government until she realized that things were not well, or until she to a point where she felt that things were not really okay. That is when she left. She left opposition and shifted to support the ruling government, of which everyone has a right to do that shift. And Sabina Chege was a serious stand supporter of the Azimio coalition led by Raila Amolo Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, and the former president.
Yeah.
But she suddenly changed along the way. That can also tell us something about her character, political character. When you're a politician who keeps shifting, who jumps here and there uh, without understanding the people and the political style that you're playing,
Yeah.
then I think that tells us her political character. She has a political character, a weak political character, so to say, similar to that of, when she was needed in her party, the Jubilee Party. when the former president and those who nominated her, the political party that nominated her, needed her, that is when she shifted her allegiance to the other party. So, and these characters, we've been seeing them. And I wanted to say that if you see politicians who cannot have a stand, who just shift, especially since they knew that they were now following the president or the other side of the political divide, just because they had won the election, that tells you that these are politicians who can't be trusted. Her remarks saying that they can't afford to be in the opposition, I I want to differ with that because there is no any political party or anyone in the Republic of Kenya who wants or is comfortable being in the opposition side. So if she believes or she thinks that they can't afford to be on the position side, then it is not right for her, being a politician, to just support without really looking at the issues that she's supporting. Just because the president gave Gachagua a chance to run, to be his deputy, doesn't mean that it was a favor. It is not a favor. It is a democratic right, and it is a requirement in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And her remarks, simply clarifies that in Kenya there are some politicians who feels that when they are nominated or given opportunity, then they are answerable to their appointing the political masters. So I want to say Rigathi Gachagua was appointed by the people of Kenya. Kindiki has been appointed by the president, but of course with the knowledge of the people of Kenya. So they should not speak in a way that the kind of trying to elevate the president to some level that is going against what the Constitution of the Republic says, because in the manner that she was speaking, it simply means that they're like begging the president. They are at the mercy of the president, of which that should not be the case. We are in a democratic country, and everyone has a right and feels okay wherever they are.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, for your view. And let me take this opportunity also to welcome Mr. Laban Misiani. Asante sana. And we thank you also for reminding us. And yesterday we did so to our good lady, Hulda Morara, who has just won the Congress in Minnesota. We are very proud of her. And hopefully Kenyan can learn from that too. And that is also there. Guest past person Gesa, thank you so much for coming. And Miguda, I want you also to answer this because Peter Njuguna has raised a very, very good question. What is the problem of us being in opposition? Kenya is for all Kenyans, those who support good agenda and those who support everything in government. There is nothing like a community being in opposition. That's what Njuguna says. Um, what can you say about that? Because we cannot afford as the people of Central not to be in opposition. And does it mean that there are people who are not supposed to be in opposition?
Sabina is playing, I don't know the kind of politics she's trying to play.
Yeah.
Because as per our understanding, the opposition is not for a certain communities in this country, and there's no way some people are supposed to be in opposition and some people are supposed to be in government. What we understand that we have one government, and the people who are in those positions are our representatives. They are public officers. Some of them come to those positions through electoral process. Some of them come through appointment. So there is no way that you can tell us that all of us can be in those positions like public officers. We can't be public officers, all of us. There are just certain people who are privileged to serve for the people of Kenya. And if one person from your community has been to serve the people of Kenya, all of you are in the cabinet. For instance, not that all laws are in the treasury. It is only John Mbadi who has been appointed. It is not all Kikuyus are deputy president. It is only Kithure Kindiki who is a deputy president. So what Sabina Chege is trying to request the people of Mount Kenya,
Yeah.
is trying to appeal to them that this government has rewarded us with the position of the deputy president. As the people of Mount Kenya, let us support this government. She's like coercing the people to support the government, even if the people are suffering because they have been rewarded a position of a deputy president. But they have not been rewarded. It is only Kindiki who has been rewarded that of a deputy president. And that is what people like Junet were saying when they were escorting Rory Nyanza, that you have given us treasury, you have given us energy, you have given who? The people, or you have given individuals. There's nothing like you have given us, you have given us. We people, no. You have given him, you have given him, not the people. The people have not been given. If you have rewarded someone as your ally in politics, you haven't rewarded the community. And there's no need of you rewarding someone from a community when you demand all of them to follow you, to vote for you, even if you have bad policies. So Sabina Chege, I disagree with her in total because there's no way she's telling Mount Kenya that we should not be in opposition. Let us be in government. How are the people going to be in government? And we know very well that there are only public officers who are in that government, and there those people have gotten there through election. Some of them have been appointed. So there is no way she's going to persuade the people that they are out of government because they are not supporting William Ruto. She's trying to tell the people of Mount Kenya because the people of Mount Kenya they have rejected William Ruto and they have defiled against his administration, and they are not going to vote for him likely the forthcoming election. So she's trying to coerce them that do not behave in this manner. Kindly support this guy because this guy has rewarded us this position and this position. These positions they are not for the community. This position they belong to each and every Kenyan. So long as someone has the merit to serve the people of Kenya, he or she can serve, but not that if you have rewarded someone or if you appoint someone, you demand that support from the community. So what Sabina Chege is trying to say, they are like people who have been sent to go to the ground because no, she was very particular about talking about the ground. She is nowadays even to the ground that go to the ground and try to convince the ground that let us be in government, and people will be confused that way and they support the government because Kindiki is the deputy president. That is fallacy. People should not follow a lead because that is not government.
Mhm.
There can be government, like the case of, let me just give you the previous appointment. The case of John Badi. The people were saying that the treasury is now sleeping at Homa Bay. So the question could be, if the treasury is sleeping at Homa Bay and the devolved function of the government, whereby funds should be released to the counties, Homa Bay
Yeah.
County has not received payment from government. Migori County, and Migori County is next to Homa Bay. So look at that scenario. So it means that it does not affect only Homa Bay. It affect all the 47 counties. Therefore, this issue of president trying to appoint someone from your community, then expect all of you to vote for him. That's a primitive thought, and it should end. Sabina Chege should not come with that thought, because nowadays people are clever. People will not make decisions based on appointments they have been rewarded from their communities.
Okay. Thank you so much. And Laban hapa anasema which opposition are you discussing in our constitution? We have minority and majority. That is one. Maybe you will clarify for us, Mr. Miguda and Makobura. Junet was right because every office comes with benefit and privileges. So that's what Laban is saying. So uh, coming to what Sabina Chege has said, that they can't, the mountain cannot afford to be in opposition. And we are looking at the conversation that we've been having about the issue of um, regionalism, you know, and the issue of advocating for a particular area, because this is what have befell the former deputy president, because he was speaking about his area. Now, Sabina Chege too is kind of like fencing and saying, okay, we as the people of the mountain, we cannot afford to be in opposition. When you compare that statement with the conversation that is going right now, is she relevant, or does it mean is excluding some other areas in Kenya? Mr. Makobura.
Okay, thank you once again. Uh, we've always said here that the impeachment process that we saw sometimes back was a political instigated impeachment, and the accusations that were made against the deputy president, to me, as much as they warrant his impeachment, you know, all the all the political members that I'm seeing, including the president,
Yeah.
they've all made the same mistakes. And if we were then being, if you would get to a point where we are being genuine to ourselves, being truthful, then the best thing we would have done is what the Gen Zs had started. We would have sent the whole government home because they have all fallen short of what is required of them. The issue of tribalism in the Republic of Kenya is something that we need to discuss as a people. And the issue of inclusion, whereby we've seen it not just even with the comments, but we've also seen, appointments made or done to people coming from a specific region,
Yeah.
and then they get to those positions, they misuse power, they get or involve themselves in corrupt dealings, and once they're caught, whenever they're being investigated, they start to generalize and say that, oh, because I'm coming from this community, I'm being targeted. I think that's a mentality that we should get off our mind,
Mhm.
and that is what I can describe. The thinking of one Sabina Chege is similar to that, because someone would then ask that if the region where she comes from should never or should not be in a position, then does it mean that there are specified regions that should be holding the position or should be in the minority side? I think that's not a good comment coming from a leader, and especially a leader that has been nominated, because when you're nominated, you're representing the whole country
Yeah.
and your party. So the words that should be coming from the mouth of one Sabina Chege should be one that is uniting. We just got out of an impeachment that was tense, that was serious, and among the accusations that led to that impeachment to be, to get successful, were the wordings that the former deputy president used, of which the people and even the judges who made the declaration felt that they were like not unifying, but they were selective, and that they were tribal in nature. So,
Yes.
hey, okay, yeah. So that is my comment, Mister, my brother Benson.
Yeah.
We've been seeing some comments here from our friend one Dame 99 and Nature Vibes Dame. I think that's coming from one person.
Yeah.
I don't know. They keep saying that we do block them. I think
No.
I've been clarifying this every now and then,
Okay.
and I can see our friend Nature Vibe is also saying the same. Just clarify to him that we don't really engage in that. We don't even know how to do that.
And we really appreciate nature's support and everything for being part of this channel. Um, to me, generally, I don't think I can reach that point whereby I can block you because um, we all have different views. And as I said the other time you read this issue, we will go to the channel and look if there's a place where you've been blocked. And but I don't think so, my friend. I give you my assurity. We don't do block. We cannot block you. Why then should we do that? We cannot, my brother. We cannot, and we will check if it is true that we blocked you. We will come here and apologize for you. But also, we also take that responsibility and check. And as we do check, my brother, also check with the setting on your other side. if there is any setting that might not be. Uh, uh, oh, he says, Nita, I can't see Mark Obura comments. Oh, your comments, he cannot see your comments. It's not about the channel. Yeah. So Mark Obura, he cannot see your comments. Did you do so? Check your side then. Check your side. So
My comments on what exactly? Because
uh,
I don't understand what he means or she means by saying that I can't see Marco Bura comments. I don't know what's.
yeah. So let's we are going to work on everything, my brother. Wherever you are, we cannot block you because we don't take your support for granted. You coming to the show is one thing that we cannot take for granted. That we appreciate you and we cannot do that. I know, we started with you long time ago, and for you to be part of this conversation, it's quite much important to us. We cannot do that. So let's go back to the conversation. Makobura had just
Yeah, okay, maybe allow me to to answer comment here from Laban Misiani saying that uh, I do think the Gen Z actions were constitutional.
yeah.
No, I am not saying, Laban, I'm not saying that the Gen Z's actions were constitutional, but I personally support the actions.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying, allow me to clarify what I meant. I've seen the issue of coup or what. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I supported their actions because the government had time to listen to them. They gave their intentions, they gave, a list of what they wanted the government to at least do. You know, the main issue actually was the finance bill. There was a feeling that there was no participation. The people who gave their views were compromised. Some of them were bribed to give, uh, uh, to support the finance bill. But when it got to the people, you know, the people did not like it. And that is why the Gen Zs went for demonstration. I'm not saying that they were constitutional or anything. What I'm trying to say is that the government had the time to listen to them. They did not listen to them. And from my understanding of what the constitution says, the people has what it takes. The sovereign power belongs to them. And whenever they feel that they're not being listened to, the only way or the only thing they can do is to get out and to demonstrate and to picket. And that is what they did.
Okay. Thank you so much, Makobura, for that clarification for our good friend Laban Misiani. Miguda, what would I ask Makobura, and I want to also to you to share your views on, because nominated MP Sabina Chege, he's kind of like saying we as the people of the mountain, we cannot afford to be in opposition, and this requires that you have to, is a mandatory now, you have to support the new deputy president, or you have to support Kithure Kindiki. And if you look at that comment as the people from the mountain, because that is singling an area as compared to the conversation that we've been having about what Gachagua had already talked about, like we as the people of the Murima, where do you give your difference? What is the difference with what the former deputy president was speaking with what she has just said?
To begin, let me respond to Laban Misiani in the first comment when he was telling us that we do not have opposition, we have minority and majority in the House. We understand that structure very well, and we know that it's minority and majority. But look at the context of Sabina Chege. He was talking about opposition. He was not speaking about minority and majority. And he was speaking about people who have not formed the government. So we are not interested about the structure, but we're interested about the people who have not formed government, that context. And even people like Raila have maintained that they are in opposition and they are in opposition to stay. So it doesn't mean that if we say that we are in opposition, we are simply trying to do away with the minority and majority. No, majority and minority stands in the constitution and is that in that structure. So Sabina Chege trying to tell the people of Mount Kenya that they are not supposed to be in opposition. She's simply trying to tell the people that let us align with the policies of this government. Let us support the fifth administration. Let us do as per the president want us to do. Let us not be the people who are first to oppose this government. Opposing doesn't mean that oppose the government in terms of government policies, in terms of government services delivery. Let us not oppose it. Kindly, she was appealing to the kind. Let us support this government. Let us support William Ruto. William Ruto, because she goes ahead and say that we were given the position of deputy president from Rigathi Gachagua. Then when he was removed, they bring in Kindiki, one of us. So the people of Central should be the last people to oppose this government. The people of Central should be the last people not to work with the government. Let us work, let us embrace it in our region. That's why we are saying maybe there are some direction they should go down and start to influence the people to align themselves with this fifth administration so that come in fourth election, they will vote for him, William Ruto. The issue of Sabina Chege trying to speak about the people of Mount Kenya and she's not being castigated, unlike Rigathi Gachagua, that one can tell you that Rigathi Gachagua case was predetermined. There
Yes.
was people sat somewhere and make a decision that Rigathi Gachagua must go home. So it was more of a collective justice whereby you decide for somebody, whether because we have said that all of these things Rigathi Gachagua was accused of, none of these leaders, none of them is clean. And I can quote the Bible that for all have seen and fall short in the eyes of God. Therefore, even Ruto himself,
Mhm.
he might be talking about tribalism, we people of Kalenjin nation, but look at his appointments, look at his actions when it comes to tribalism. The chief tribalist in this country, because he cannot appoint almost not even six successor headed by the people from one community. And this Kenya is composed of more than 43 tribes plus. Therefore, Mr. Ruto in his action is a tribal leader. Rigathi Gachagua was profiled as a tribal leader based on his utterances. Therefore, whatever Sabina Chege is trying to tell the people of Mount Kenya, why can't she tell the people of Kenya that let us, all of us, the Kenyan people, let us not be in opposition? Why is she selecting the people of Mount Kenya? To me, that one can tell you that Sabina Chege, Rigathi Gachagua, they are in the same WhatsApp group. But now Rigathi Gachagua has left.
Mhm. So, thinking, you've mentioned something about let us all people of Kenya, and right now there's what we call the broad-based government, and in the eyes of the political class, they believe that the broad-based government is inclusive of everyone, whereby we do not talk about the opposition, or either we might not talk about the minority and minority. We are under one government that is according to the political class, then, and the same government that is supporting um yeah, and she's still um um saying that the people of mountain should do that. So that is something that also you can talk about. Then another thing that I also want you to share with us, all of you, because let's say, like, okay, as much as you're a leader from Mount Kenya, yes, you want the people now to be very peaceful, calm, and they are, and you want to support. Would it be also in order for them to evaluate what really the process they went through as a community, and tell us the reason why, like what happened to a point whereby now one of us was the deputy and now one of us has been given the position? Can she be in a position to explain to the residents of mountain, as we not going to be in the position, and explain to them the process and the the process and why they that one happened, so that people can understand?
Uh, am I going fast or me good?
You can go first.
Yeah. So from where I see it, I think most of Mount Kenya people they're still bitter of what the whole process of impeachment, and most of them are not happy with what happened. I think the best thing that any politician who would then go or get a platform to address the Mount Kenya people, the best thing they should first tell them is why the president was impeached. Because remember, deputy president was elected and supported by the majority from the Mount Kenya region. So they should let the people know what happened between the deputy president and the president, and the people should be left to gauge and see if truly the accusations that they've given to their, Gachagua are real. Because if we go by what was presented before the courts,
Yeah.
we would simply say that just with the, if I borrow the wordings of the CGI,
Yeah.
I would say they are goose. They are what? There's this term that she used. Yeah, the all accusation was like a wild goose or something because they doesn't really make sense to some extent. And what the people need is a leadership that is truthful and answerable to them. So they should first tell them why they want them to support. Of
Yeah.
course, we have the new deputy president, and as a people, we need to, stand up and support the new deputy president. But we want to understand why the president was unable to work with the former president. We want to understand the reason why they were not able to solve the differences that they had. We want to understand the reason why we, the people of Kenya, elected them on a pair ticket, and one of them has gone home, and another one has been appointed. So that is the clarification that they should first tell the people, and if the people are satisfied with the explanation, then I think they should tell the people that now we have to uh, fully support this government,
Mhm.
and we should believe that this government is going to ensure that you know, our interests are well served and taken care of.
Thank you so much. And there is no way to finish Mount Kenya. That is Nature Vibes Them is saying that Ayaga is saying now she's the one being used to completely tarnish Gachagua and just join each other and unite. And what Ayaga said, and I want Miguda maybe to share. Um, does it mean like this might be one of those ways that maybe the president could be using to reconcile the mountain? You know, like he's the messenger of the president in preparation. Maybe in the future, when the president would visit Mount Kenya, then she will find like things are now in order.
I don't think so. Even
Yeah.
if it's so, I don't think it will work out that way. If that is the plot of William Ruto, because the people of Mount Kenya, that they have been betrayed and they have been hurt politically, and any attempt to reconcile with them by sending the people who supported the impeachment process of one former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, that is just like another assault to the people of Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
Because the people of Mount Kenya, William Ruto thought that once he elevated Kindiki from CS of Interior to deputy president, automatically he will attract, because power attracts. So the people will automatically attract Kithure Kindiki. But he has realized that is not working because the people have stood firm. They have maintained their stand that they are not boarding. They are not going to subscribe to those trickster of William Ruto. And William Ruto has been portrayed as a cunning player, this political movement. And the Mount Kenya, they have said that once beaten, twice shy. That we have learned very hard way from this guy. And there's no way we are going to unite behind him. So realizing that Kindiki is not selling, Kindiki is not attractive, even with those powers he has. So the people of Mount Kenya will definitely chart their own political pathway. So maybe this is another strategy to make people to view power that let us behind William Ruto. let us rally behind Kindiki because this is where power is. Power rests with William Ruto. Power rests with Kindiki. Let us not get out of UDA Kenya Kwanza. But people have just walked. Spiritually, people are not in UDA in the Mount Kenya. They're just waiting for that person who can give the direction or anybody who can come let them. They will not vote for William Ruto. So people like Sabina Chege are just people trying to make that an attempt to reconcile the people of Mount Kenya with where power is currently. But that is not important. What is important for the people of Mount Kenya is that if they can get any person who can remove William Ruto from State House, that's the person they will support because they no longer believe him. That, that good friends they believe in him, they no longer view him as the deputy of Jesus Christ. They are now viewing him as a cunning heir, someone who knows how to outmaneuver his allies and his foes in the political arena. So the people like Sabina Chege, they're just trying to appeal to the people that let go where power is. But I told you, Brother Beso, that nowadays people don't think that way. Their thinking have shifted. People no longer think, long time ago is when someone could come and make a decision for you that let us do this and you follow blindly. Nowadays, people will ask you, why are you telling us to follow this person? Can't you see that this person betrayed us? So even those tricks that they work for the people of Mount Kenya, we should look a better way to reconcile the people of Mount Kenya, but not making those small attempts.
Okay. Nature Vibes, thank you so much. I want to ask you, Makobura, because I want to bring you to history. Remember, immediately after the election and Sabina Chege was nominated to the assembly, he fought the Jubilee. Remember, there was a fight of the Jubilee Party, and the Jubilee Party was being fought because the few of them, him including Kanini Kega, they were supporting the the president. Yeah, and they fought Jubilee Party until recently when a court made a pronouncement that now the Jeremiah Kioni factions are the bona fide members or the official of official members of the Jubilee Party. How can we trust? How can the Mount Kenya trust Sabina Chege with what she's saying, based on the history that they fought the Jubilee that hard?
I think when I was starting, I clearly said that Sabina Chege, her political character is not, I would say that there are terms that the opponents used, but I don't want to use this term. If you see a politician jumping, jumping from one party to another, shifting allegiance left, right, and center, then that is a politician that should not be trusted. And if I may give you an example, if you remember the political character of one Kalonzo Musyoka, it has really costed him something that he did long time ago, just shifting allegiance and hoping or behaving in a manner that is not expected by the people who supports them. That politically it comes with a lot of effects where the followers then got to a point where they failed to to believe in these politicians. A politician should have, as much as they're shifting, they should not just shift because of their, uh, they should not just shift because they've seen something that is appealing to the eyes on the other side. They should shift based on issues which are really, really pertinent to the people, but not just them. When they are shifting, they should first look at their stand. And, in the case of Sabina, when she was going to the other side, she was really needed in the position side. That is when, let me say the majority, so that Laban would not say that I'm talking about majority and minority. I mean, opposition and government. Yeah. So when the minority side needed her, that is when she left and shifted to the government side, of which, when another thing, such kind of behaviors really cost the Azimio side. Constitutionally, they were supposed to be on the other side, that is the majority side. But since the members of parliament that we've been electing are leaders who have been hoping and jumping, they've not been consistent, and they don't believe, and they don't even trust, and they don't even ask or listen to the will of the people. They simply make decisions based on what they see, based on what they want. That really costed the Azimio side, and they lost the majority and even the speaker seat. If we were in a point where the majority side would be having the speaker,
Yeah.
similar to what we saw, for example, in that government of Nusumkati, at least we would be having a balanced parliament. We'll be having a parliament that is productive. The reason why most of time we've had a parliament that is not functioning, it's because the ruling government has always produced the member, I mean the speaker. Whenever speaker comes from the ruling parliament, they will only rubber stamp what the executive has brought before them, and not what that is not good politically when we need development, because at that extent, their undertakings would be influenced by the executive, and that is why we've been every now and then that the executive is captured by the parliament is captured by the executive, because they cannot make, independent decisions by themselves, but they are being influenced by the executive. So, in short, Sabina Chege or Chege, political character and her wordings were not really based on, uh, spreading love or uniting the people of Kenya, but she was just there to please the president and to maybe test waters and see the reactions of the people of Mount Kenya. But from what we've seen, I was actually even in the comments, not just here, but somewhere else, the people of Mount Kenya are asking so many questions. They are telling them, majority are saying that we stopped believing and trusting Sabina Chege the moment she left the minority and shifted to the majority. The moment she started arguing and saying all the bad things about the members that they had disagreement with in the Jubilee Party.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dem. I know I'm privy to that information that you're saying the Mugithi King and the issue of the kid. That is something that I know. So, Miguda, I want you to also to expand to us, because there's this feeling that the only people who can get development if you are associated with the government, and this is not only what the majority of the public of Kenyans do believe, but I'm seeing it also with the leaders, you know, because to me, I feel strongly by saying that we cannot afford to be in opposition, it means that we cannot afford to lose those development that should be coming. And as a government, when you are put in office, it doesn't matter who voted for you. The resources should be given to people of Kenya, not on the criteria how you voted, but on the basis you're a Kenyan. How that one sit with the comments of Sabina Chege?
Sabina Chege, still I'll not buy that idea of Sabina Chege, and I'm not subscribing to that school of thought.
Yeah.
Sabina Chege still think that Kenyans are thinking the way they used to think those old times. Sabina Chege is a mix of politicians who lie to the people of Kenya that the government is going to give services only those who voted for that government. And if they have given opportunity by appointments or some privileges, so you need to join government to get those privileges. I totally disagree with that school of thought, and I'm not buying it, and I'll never buy it, because Brother Benson, in our Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 43 kipengela cha 43 talked about economic and social rights. These are basic rights and fundamental freedoms that as a human being or as a Kenyan, you have economic and social rights, service delivery, education, good health facilities or health care. It should be applicable to every Kenyan, provided that you are a Kenyan and any sitting government without any discrimination or favor. These services are freely delivered by government. They are freely given to the Kenyan people by government. And it's very enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya 2010. So there's no way a leader, whether nominated or elected, now Sabina Chege, she's nominated. The fact that she's nominated doesn't mean that she's not a leader. She's a leader and she has that duty to give civic education to the electorates. So it means instead of giving civic education to the electorates about the Article 43 of the Constitution, she's busy appealing to the public with lies and propaganda. There's no way we are going to subscribe to that school of thought because as a leader, you have a duty to give civic service to the people of Kenya. She ought to have enlightened the people of Mount Kenya that whether we are in government or we are not in government, in the case of Sabina Chege's sentiments, not my sentiments, whether we are in government or outside government, we have free access to government services. We have free access to government service delivered to the government because why, if you go to apply passport or national ID, why can't they ask you that are you in government or not in government? They just issue with you those government services, the e-citizen services. Provided you are a Kenyan, they will give you those services because they used to be free. Nowadays, is now they are trying to introduce some regulations about getting those government services. Why is that when they want votes or they want people, when they're talking about unity, when they're talking about their interest about the forthcoming elections, when they have viewed that their current deputy president is unpopular in Mount Kenya, now they're bringing the issues like join us so that we can give you services, join us so that we can come and launch projects in your regions. That is very wrong for a leader to take the citizens for a ride as if Kenyans do not know that whether they vote for that government or not, that is the inherent right. They must get those services without any discrimination. And I sometimes I view it in this way. When sometimes William Ruto used to go to Mount Kenya, he used to go there like a pastor or someone who is a deputy of Christ, appealing to the people that he knows the verses, he used even to sing those praise and worship songs. But whenever he's going to Nyanza, he's going to the people that I'll construct this road, I'll build this hospital. So people are saying that maendeleo anapeleka Nyanza, maombi anapeleka Central. Now they want to shift it now that you want to take development to the central people. Now you want to go back to Nyanza to peleka maombi. And you have seen him even during the African Divine Services when he was trying to unite the Western region with those prayer things. So the important point should be that let us not be swayed by this politician that it is they are giving us favor whenever they work for us, or it's a favor they are doing to us. Service delivery. It's not a favor. It's our rights enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya that we, the people of Kenya, we deserve better services, and to be precise, economic and social rights are freely provided by the government of the day.
Okay, thank you so much. And there's something also that I want you, Makubura, also, if you can weigh your thoughts, because like as I was, one of the things that she said, that he's listening to the ground, and the ground now he's very calm. So does it mean during the impeachment of Gachagua, she did not listen to the ground? And what was ground saying by then?
That the ground is very calm.
Yeah, that's as per her statement. I've listened to the ground. The ground is very calm. So my question to you, does it mean that during the impeachment of former deputy president, she was not listening to the ground, or what was the ground saying?
I think Sabina Chege comes from the Mount Kenya region, but from where I sit, I think I even know more of what the ground says in the Mount Kenya region than she she purports to be knowing. Because Mount Kenya is not a restless region when it comes to politics. Mount Kenya is the one of the areas or regions which are very politically active, and they always involve themselves in the political, uh, happenings and the
Yep.
political plannings of the country. And someone coming to tell us that the Mount Kenya region politically is currently silent, I don't really think that is right. From my seat,
Mhm.
the ground might be calm just because of what just happened, and the people are trying to, the Mount Kenya people are the only people in the republic that always, some most of time, they do take politics closer to their heart. And we've always seen that, and that can be told or can be explained by how they vote.
Yeah.
They're the people who will tell you that, when you go to them, they will tell you that, oh, we will give you. Raila has been going there how many times? And
Mhm.
when it comes to the election day, that is the day that they'll tell you that we took this thing to our heart and we know when the right time comes to deliver.
Mm.
So, what is simply happening there is the people are still, they still pain from being felt by those who supported this government, because they don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't understand what has just happened to them and to the deputy president. And so it is tough for them to give their opinion. That is what is happening.
Yeah.
If you hear, I'm telling you, if you go have a conversation with people who are very much associated with this government, people who supported this government, people who supported the former deputy president, then I'll tell you that most people are very devastated.
Mm.
They do not trust this government. They are shocked, actually. Even the deputy president, the former himself, is still shocked. He has not believed that he was really impeached. Even from his conversations, his appearance, he still can't believe that truly he was impeached. I think it's like a dream to him.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
not just him, even to his supporters and even the people of Mount Kenya.
Mm.
Because remember, this is the only person who stood with William Samoei Ruto to an extent that he was even ready to be, to go through anything. And all those things which were happening to Rigathi Gachagua, the people were seeing. And what the people are now saying is that if truly that is someone who fought for him, if truly that is the person mwenye alinyang'anywa hata pesa zake na nini, that is what they are saying. Can you believe such a person? That is the conversation that is going out there.
Okay.
And they're saying that,
Okay.
and they're saying that, they're saying that, like, it's tough for them to really believe and to know what is happening.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. And d- Mr. Demba, thank you so much because you know where we came from and all that. Many people do not know that we are friends. And now there's also this aspect, Miguda, that majority of people saying that we do not have a problem with Kindiki. They don't have a problem with Kindiki. Some quarters do say so, but the person they have a problem with is the president. Are you sharing the same opinion?
I would like to describe the current political situation in the Mount Kenya and the country at large.
Yeah.
The Kenyan country, that is like the story of Jesus Christ of
Mm,
Nazareth.
mm,
When Jesus Christ began his Christian ministry from Jerusalem, he said that the time is fulfilled and let us repent and seek Jesus Christ. So he told the people of Galilee that the people living in the darkness have received a great light. Kenyan people and Mount Kenyan people who have been living in the darkness, their eyes have been opened and they have received a great light. That is why the Mount Kenyan people are unpopular. The appointment of Kithure Kindiki is unpopular in Mount Kenya region. they used to view Kenya people that they are people you can convince easily. The way they went with the Bible and persuade them, also sometimes they divide them along the tribe to support them. But today they have said that they have received a great light. They are no longer in the darkness. So they are not going to buy any form of propaganda, any form of a trickster from William Ruto. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua said that William Ruto is very persuasive and he knows how to persuade people. Rigathi Gachagua admitted that. Therefore, the people of Kenya are not going to buy this idea by replacing Rigathi Kindiki. Now they are going to support William Ruto. They now know him, and there's no way they are going to. If they attempt to vote for him again, then it's like they are going to betray not only Mount Kenya but the entire country. That's why I don't think that people are saying that they have no problem with Kindiki,
Yeah.
but with William Ruto.
Mm.
They know that the buck stop with William Ruto. That's why they say once they are done with William Ruto, they will be done with all his surrogates, all his supporters, and there is no way they can say that they have no problem with Kindiki, but their main problem is William Ruto. Kindiki is part and parcel of William Ruto's problem because Kindiki was made the deputy president by William Ruto. They are just trying to play safe for the sake of politics. They're not
Yeah.
playing rough game, but at the end of the day, they know that they are not interested in whatever William Ruto is going to put to them on the table.
Okay. Thank you so much. What Laban is saying, Makobura impeachment happened and it is real. So the nature, this is Laban Misiani. Let me start where the conversation started. Okay. Miguda na Maombi has shifted to Western Kenya. That is what Nature Vibes we left. Hey, okay, sawa sawa, asante. And then Nature Vibes say we love this vibes, asante sana. And Nature Vibes, Laban Misiani, he can't be Mount Kenya, made Ruto the president. Thank you so much. And I would like just to take this opportunity to thank you all, especially those in the comment section and those who know me and your support. We don't take it for granted, and we've seen your support. You've made us grow, and always continue to support us. Now, today the deputy president had a press, and I think he was just talking at this press. He was just briefing from the interior uh, CS to the the deputy president. He was just saying some of the accomplishment he has made. And one of the things that I picked was about anasema atafanya kazi kwa umoja wa taifa. mm, ata make sure, he will make sure that he unites the country in his work as a deputy president. Um, he also talked about he will unite Kenya, and the development that will be done will not be done on the pillars of ethnicity. And let me just look some.
When we say the deputy president is not selling, I think it is very true.
Kwa nini?
Even
President should not sell.
every Kenyan,
Yeah.
hakuna mtu fail hiyo uongozi ya deputy president.
Yeah.
There's no one who has really welcomed it like fully with good faith or
Oh.
good heart.
Let me just give you some of the things that he mentioned in his presser. Heavily armed bandits flashed out. That is in those areas. Infrastructure that sustained banditry dismantled. Kenya government has acquired modern passport printer. Waiting period for passport greatly reduced. Security forces modernized equipment. 24-month multi-agency operation paid off within 2 years of calm. So some of the things that I was expecting him to talk about was about abduction. That is something that was there. And even Kanja today at the parliament, the IG was saying the police do not abduct, but they arrest. So what we want to know is those who are being abducted, where are they going, and who is abducting Kenyans? Those are some of the questions. And Tony Blair, thank you so much for joining. And I have welcomed the new DP fully. Yes, thank you so much. We need to come and engage you on that. And I also need to engage you on the Onagi comrade. What happened? Because we saw you with there were so many leaders over there. I saw you with our good friend Nyamori was there. Senior Counsel Nyamori was there. I saw you with one lady who is vying for Migori County. Sheila Olang was there. So there were so many people. So if you can find time, you can come to the studio so that you can discuss with us the way forward for Onagi and what does it have for the youths. So that is something that is there. So Makubura, why are you saying the deputy president is not selling?
Our friend Tony Blair is saying he has welcomed fully
Yeah.
the deputy president.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are Kenyans. The constitution is there. We agree with him, everyone. And the good thing is that here we also say that your opinion counts.
Yeah.
So, but truth be told, most Kenyans have not welcomed the move that the president took. The people of Kenya expected that. The people of Kenya expected that William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, the way the two were elected, we expected them to be answerable to the people of Kenya. And if there were any problems, what the president ought to have done is to come out and tell the people of Kenya that they are no longer in good terms with the deputy president, and you would have come out to tell us. Partly, if you remember what happened in the last government, when Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had problems with William Samoei Ruto, at least he took time to clarify what the difference were. And I think that was a good thing. We expected the same. Uh, we expected William Samoei Ruto to come out and tell us that, as a president, we were elected the two, me and my deputy, but now we've gotten to a point where we can't agree. We've gotten to a point where anavuruta akienda upande hii na mi pia naenda upande hii, na kwa hiyo hatuwezi fanya kazi pamoja. That would have been okay, but what just happened is we saw close allies of the deputy president and the president trying to tell us about you can't really believe if you don't listen to the president. As much as they have their dogs, from both sides they have their dogs, but the dogs were not supposed to give us the information of what was happening. We were supposed to hear from the bearer. Lakini ni sawa, hayo yamepita na sisi hatuna mabaya. Wakenya hawana mabaya, lakini we have the right to give our opinion. Na mimi kama mwana nchi mzalendo nasema ya kwamba hii serikali ambayo inaendeshwa na Rais Daktari William Samoei Ruto na wale wanaoambatana na yeye, wanaokaribiana na wao, sioni wakiwa na nia nzuri ya kutuelekeza. They don't have that good vision of taking us to where we've always dreamt of going as a country. And I think that can be clarified by what we've been seeing in this government. Part of it is the abduction. We expected the police and the deputy president to clarify to the people of Kenya and to tell us what they are doing as a government to ensure that the issues of abductions and killings that we've been seeing here are things that they're taking serious as a government and that they are going to solve. When the inspector appeared to the relevant authorities, he said that the police cannot abduct, they have not abducted, they've not killed. And so that is contrary from what is really on the ground. The deputy president also, as a deputy president, would have come out and tell the people of Kenya that this and this happened. Sometimes you just hone because the people have died. There are evidences that people died. people who went for demonstration, most of them have not been found. The best thing is, if you're a leader, is you tell the people that as much as that happened, this is what we are doing, and we've put this and this in place to ensure that we don't get back to those situations. But a government that is protecting itself and people have died, I don't think that is a good thing. Mr. Miguda, you can also give your opinion on that.
First, let me agree with Laban Misiani. Misiani said that Kindiki was the preferred choice for William Ruto before elections, and he was a popular candidate by then when they wanted to nominate him, but they preferred Gachagua over Kindiki. It is true he was the preferred choice of William Ruto and the UDA team, but he was never nominated to be the deputy president by then. That is true, I agree with you, but currently I don't believe that the way it played that time, it also applies this time, because the political dynamics have changed within these 2 years they have been into the office. Kindiki scorecard when he was the CS for internal security, I can view that to some extent I can give him credit. There are some of the things he tried to perform. He tried because he was new in that administration, and he was trying to strive to deal with the issue of banditry, bandits. He was trying to deal with the issues of immigration, even the issue of registration, the issue of e-citizens. So to some extent, he tried to make service delivery for the government to be effective to the citizens of Kenya. He really tried as a person, and so most of the time he used to be ranked as the best CS in terms of performance. He used to appear top among the fellow colleagues. So I can give him credit, but there are some also challenges we faced during his time, because during his time there are some, he has been accused of even overseeing, though we understand that when we are in demonstrations, it's the duty of the police to make sure that the demonstrator is safe, does not make sure that the demonstrator does not destroy any property, or demonstrator does not go beyond the limit of where he or she is supposed to be. But also, being the cabinet secretary for internal security, in charge of our internal security, he oversees the abduction, arrest, and also killing of the Gen Z. And if at all, even he was not the one giving orders, but why could he come out and call out this issue of abductions, or this issue of unlawful arrest, or he could ask the police to release those people who have been arrested unlawfully? Those are the questions we are asking Kindiki. We are not saying that he participated in abducting people, arresting people, or killing people. We are not saying that he was giving orders to the police officers. We're just saying that as a responsible government officer, as cabinet secretary for security, we could have come out and condemn this unlawful act by a police officer, because if he could have come out and condemned those unlawful acts, it could have saved many lives, it could have saved many people, and even currently abductions are going on. So other than whatever he performed, whatever he did as the CS for internal security, there are other challenges he faced that office. Those are challenges we are trying to point out as responsible citizens, that even though Kindiki worked very smart and he was good in the eyes of the boss and the people, but as Kenyans also, we have some questions to ask Kindiki. That Kindiki, why could you come out and also stop all these shenanigans? Those are things we are asking Kindiki. We don't have problem with him at personal level.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Migoda. Brother Ben,
Yes, how are you doing, sir?
we okay. Potea kidogo ama ni network ili
Saa zingine unajua network inakuja inasumbua kidogo, unapotea. Naona comments, sijui kama ulisoma. Miguda, tell Kenyans that the truth and nothing but the truth. hata heri Omosh 1 hour ama Maina Njenga Kenya ime lost. Yeah. So those just the those in the comment section. So you've spoke about the deputy president and what he said, because like from the speech itself, he was kind of like briefing Kenyans on his achievement, what he has achieved at the time when he was the CS for interior. So, and that one also could be another best way that is putting Kenya on notice that as a deputy president, we are going to achieve so many things. He talked also about education, what the government has accomplished. He talked about education. He talked about our health, and these are areas where there's so many questions that are being asked, or there are so many um, issues, especially even with the education. As you know, what do we call them? These students who are going to the next uh, class, where there are no classes, and they are supposed to be reporting in January. So between now and January, is the government going to provide those classes for these students? And what is going to happen for the junior? Is it the junior secondary school? Those who are supposed to be going to higher, you know, yeah, there are no classes, to be very sincere. Where are they going to go? Well, that is something that is there. We have also issues to do with shift share, and that is not fully implemented. Some people still have some issues to do with it. So there's so many things that uh, is happening. So maybe it's putting Kenyans on notice that all this you're complaining about will be achieved. Another thing that he spoke about on how he will be doing his work, he says that hatabagua katika utendakazi wake, yeah, hatabagua wananchi kwa msingi ya ukabila, kulingana na ilikuwa inasemwa hapo awali kwa aliyekuwa yeah. So hayo pia alizungumzia katika hiyo hotuba yake. So labda wewe kama wewe, kulingana na mambo ya education, tukuje tu hapo kidogo, tuguzie tu swala la elimu, kwa sababu kuna hao ambao watakuwa wanaenda katika kiwango chingine, lakini unapata kama kuna madarasa haziko, itakuwaje?
I think Miguda should first speak on that because I understand he has some knowledge about the CBC and
Oh.
what is happening.
Miguda,
So
hebu
maybe go
tufafanulie.
first. I have little information about this CBC. Only know that children go to wanaenda kuchora,
Not CBC.
kupika.
Kuna wale ambao
Actually, JSS, I don't know, junior secondary school. Mimi nasikianga tu wazazi wakicomplain ati siku hizi hao watoto wetu wanapika sana, wameshinda wakitumwa ama wakiambiwa wabebe vitu za kupika. That is the only thing. Maybe Miguda can clarify.
Okay, Miguda.
We are talking about the grade 9.
Yeah, the grade 9.
Who are now going to grade 10, and they are supposed to go to junior secondary, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Brother Benson, this issue of CBC, it depends with the implementation. The reason why Marco has asked you to jump that gun to me is because you understand where, it depends with where your kid go to school or you are to go to school. But the people I'm interacting with them, they have the system that they have grade 10, they have grade 11, they have even they are set up, they have a very good infrastructure. So there are some good schools in Kenya, to be precise, which have implemented fully the CBC program very well. And those schools are very much expensive. And Makobura knows where they are. I usually go there. I can't disclose them here. And they have that very good structure. But when you go back home, most of the public schools...
Don't disclose the name of the school. Is it a private or a government?
I can't. It's a private one.
So we are talking about the public, because the public...
That's what I'm getting you. That's what I'm getting you.
Oh, okay, sir.
So when I go back home, sometimes when I go back to the village and try to engage the schools at the village, they are not they are not doing it the right way. And whenever I go to that school, I do take samples, some photographs, and I do share with them. So even when they were having the annual general meeting, they copy pasted what I borrowed from the other school. So they have been telling me, whenever you come back home, kindly share with us those programs in that school. So there are no classes. That's true. Infrastructure in the public schools, but some private schools, which are good schools in quote, they have that structure even to grade 12. But this is a challenge we are facing as the people of the country, because the so-called CBC has not been fully implemented in terms of infrastructure, but also in terms of academics, it is not fully implemented. Because if you can relate the programs that are happening in the private schools, which I've quoted, not all private schools,
Yeah.
there's some private schools which have not fully implemented even in terms of infrastructure and academics. So when it's come to those public schools, we still lack infrastructure. We still lack even teachers. We still have even academics, even the materials. That's why going forward as a country, I don't know how they are going to do it, because that's not the role of the CS for education to disclose to us that going forward, because as you can identify that we do not have those infrastructure, we do not have those programs well implemented.
Yeah.
But there are those people, with them, they will just move swiftly, unlike other people. So the challenge is with that, and the majority of the Kenyans are in public school. The government should just come most of the CS for education and disclose to Kenyans what is going to do about this program going forward, because the grade 10 are going to be stuck come January on 7th.
Yeah. Do you know the reason why I'm asking you? Because there are quite a number of students, especially say I'm one of the members of a particular school. I'm a BOG member, and the issue of classroom is a very big headache to the school, because there are no classrooms, and like these students, they're coming back next year. Where are they going to go? You know, you know. When we talk of private schools, some private schools have implemented those because one, it pays. You know, and those especially the parents who manage to take their students in private school, they're just not some of the parents that me and you know that are not in formal sector of employment, especially if you go to the village, where even those schools where they are, some of them cannot even pay up to even 200 shillings, especially to to facilitate some learning in those schools. I tell you, let me tell you something that usually happens. And you know, there are some of the things that uh, go above and beyond, apart from the capitation that the government is giving schools. There are those that, as a community, you have to contribute so that uh, learning can continue. One, sometimes there are no teachers, especially like the CBC you're talking about. Um, in my case, we had to hire a teacher for the CBC, which is being paid by the community and well wishers. So each and every time we have to call well wishers, and we have to keep on calling so that we can maintain. And they do not earn less money, because they earn more money. By the way, even in the village, they don't they the less they if they are very generous to you, the less you can give them is 25. Okay, that one, they're very generous. They are very considerate. They'll say, I'm from this village, let me give you that. But they want a lot of money. So it tells you where we are, especially for those in the village. And where are we going to get this classroom? Is government going to provide within a short period? Because we are soon going to be in December. We are in January. That is a period of 1 month.
Let me give you a story before Makobura come in.
Yeah.
I had some nephew. I enrolled some of my nephew in a private school back home in the village, but private school, those are at home.
Yeah.
So when we enrolled them, they were in the same classroom with the director of that school. So after they have graduated to grade 1, so when they were supposed to go to grade 3, when I went back for the parents' meeting, I asked the director, where is your son, whom was in the same class with my nephew? The director told me that I have transferred my son from this school to the other school. Then I asked him why. And he told me that here in our school, we have not fully implemented the CBC. I remember that the director of that school. So I've opted to transfer my son to certain region because that region, they have fully implemented it and they are doing well in terms of CBC. Then I asked the director, what about now my nephew? What am I going to do with my nephew? Because I can't afford that school. And back in that village, that is the best private school ever. And majority of the people who are even working for the county government have taken almost their children to that school, and they are glorifying that school is the best. But if the director has confessed to me that he has removed his son from that school, the better school, that's why I tell you this issue of implementation of the CBC in terms of infrastructure and academics, we are still not getting it right. That's why Mark Douglas refer you to me, because me, I'm always on the ground. I usually go to these schools. Well, I'm not a teacher, but I go to those schools. I even borrow some of their learning activities to back to the village. I help the society back to the village. And just I want to give the people, our viewers, the clue. If you are in Kenya and you want the best for your children and you have money, kindly visit Nakuru County. You'll get it.
Yeah. They are doing. I'm seeing Laban Misiani and one Dem 99 talking about something to do with wisdom and knowledge. Those two words are very powerful, and uh, and I don't know how I can explain it, but I can give you. I don't know what you're talking about, but I can give you about wisdom. Wisdom is something you get natural. Is natural, and I want to bring you back to the African traditional way of life, on the culture back in the days. If you are one person or anybody in the comment section, if you go back and revisit the African culture's way of life back in our forefathers, they used not to have education, but what they had wisdom. The formal education, that is what I'm talking about. So wisdom mostly were coming from the wise men. You would go to them and they would borrow their the wise thinking. That is one. Then I think knowledge is acquired. You acquire knowledge. You can acquire knowledge through learning. You can acquire knowledge through researching. You can acquire knowledge through environment or the surrounding where you live. It is something that is acquired, not based on I don't know what both of you are talking about, but like to me, that's what I think about knowledge and wisdom. Yeah. Sometimes somebody might have knowledge, but he doesn't have wisdom. Somebody can have wisdom, but he doesn't have knowledge. Ama naweza kuwa nimekosea. Makubura.
Yes, mambo ni matatu, mambo ni mengi. Hii mambo ya I think this actually came from the reason we are getting here is the comments of one, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. I can see Gypsy Corner saying that you cannot be educated but not learned too, or vice versa. Most people, Laban don't know. Knowledge makes you a fool. Hey, He's brainwashing. I don't know whether Nature Vibes Dame is the same person as One Dame 99. I don't know. But I just like the comments coming from Nature Vibes Dame. And the level of activeness that is in Nature Vibes Dame. Lakini Nature Vibes Dame at the same time, naona at some point alikuwa amegeukia Laban Misiani, ati walikuwa huko Mutembei, lakini Laban Misiani alikuwa na block. I don't know. Nature Vibes Dame, you are such a funny person, and that's good for your consistent support. On the issue of education, I think we are getting towards the end of the year. Actually, schools are already closed. The only people who are still in school are those who are doing their exams. But I can admit here that from what we've been seeing, public schools and the children in public schools are really facing it tough. There are no infrastructure. Sometimes I even ask myself that now that they've closed and they're supposed to be promoted to the next class, where are they going to go? So the issue of CBC, truth be told, as much as I believe it's a good thing, yes, but it was hurried. They would have taken time and ensured that the infrastructure was in place, and that is when they would then start the implementation. It is not so fair that someone in public school is being taken through a syllabus that they do not have everything that they need to go that through that syllabus, but then someone in the private school, as they have access of almost everything. It is not fair. Public schools are not really prepared to handle CBC, and that's a fact. And then the government has also been confusing the people of Kenya. If you remember, sometimes back, they had started building high schools. And if you asked the reason why high schools were being built, we were being told that junior primary, they'll be going to, high school. Then after some time, when this thing was implemented, we are seeing now two different, students or pupils going to school. Some of them are in trousers, some of them are still in short, and it is even confusing. Then you're being told these ones are I don't know, in secondary, but they're still in primary. It is tough to understand. I think the government is confused through the Ministry of Education. They did not put everything in order to ensure that the implementation of CBC was was going to take effect. And, the people who are supposed to be taken through that syllabus were also, they had aligned themselves. But as things stand, education, especially with the CBC, it is not regionalized. They do not have the infrastructure that is needed. They lack so many of the needed material for that. For that course. For that syllabus.
Um, eh, okay, sawa bibi. Okay, and sometimes I think like Makobura, one of these fine days, we will have to come here on the platform. I don't know whether anybody in the comment section is so much interested about the African traditional way of life and how what uh them one them 99 is talking about the the brainwash, especially when it comes to education. There's so many things that uh sometimes I would agree with him. Yeah, in terms of how education has made us be. If you compare it to the African traditional way of life, where we came from, yeah, as Africa, and how education came to us, and how education has made us be. Even though education has made us well to communicate with people, well to connect with the world, but it also has some disadvantages that it has come with, you know. And one of those disadvantages that I usually say that as made us as a people to categorize ourselves, whereby especially when it comes to ranking, yeah, where when we are ranking and we say that you're number one, you're number two, number three, yeah, and sijui kama umefika wakati wa kitambo sana, wakati labda tuseme uko kwa shule, lakini uko na rafiki yako ambayo mko naye katika darasa moja na mlifanya mtihani moja, lakini unapata kwamba mwalimu alikukosoa ukapata marks tu mbili tu, amekushinda na marks mbili. Hiyo itakuwa ni mwalimu ameninyang'anya, hata na nini nilikuwa nimemshinda. Na hiyo bado inaenda mpaka kwa tuseme kwa jamii ambayo sisi tunaishi. Unaweza pata kijana, mtu anaweza muangalia kwa jicho mbaya kwa sababu anafanya vyema katika shule. Ushasikia hizo? Hizo ziko katika tuseme kwa zile familia ambao sisi tuko ama katika community ambao sisi tuko. Hata mtu anasema ati yani mtu akitoka shule ni heri usiende kwenyu, lakini uende kwa sistako, kwa sababu katika maeneo hayo hakuna mtu mwenye amefika campus. Kulikuwaga na hizo vitu kama hizo. Sasa hiyo vitu kama hizo zililetwa na education, unaona, ambapo unaona kama we ni mwerevu kuliko wote, kuna mtu ambaye labda anakuangalia kwa jicho mbaya, na hiyo pia imeleta saa zingine imeleta hasama katikati ya watu. Hizo ni vitu ambazo zipo, sijui kama ni ukweli. Ukipata master degree utachukua hata in some countries even a cleaner has to show their certificates. Life is not real. And let me tell you something about also
hata hapa Kenya, for a cleaner to be employed they have to show their certificate. It is that unfortunate.
And even let me tell you, if you come to the US with your degree, first of all, you will have to make sure what you do, you have to take that your certificate in one of the companies that will rate it and will put you at a level where you want to start here, because sometimes your certificate might not be recognized, you know. So when you want to go to school, they will check your certificate and say, okay, now what you need maybe to start with prerequisite based on the level of your education. Yeah. So you start with prerequisite. When you start prerequisite, you will do English 101, you will do history, and these are just prerequisites. You've not even started to measure on what you want to do. So sometimes you find it's quite much stressing, especially when it comes to education, and the vice versa. You go back home, you come with a certificate from this other area, you go and to look for job in Kenya, and people will see you as a learned person because you have an international certificate. So that one also is some of the things that education has, you know, but it also has some. It has also comes with some of the benefit because now we can communicate well, and you know, so it is something that is debatable, depending on how you want to argue your case. As people, the learned friends like Megona would say, Migoda, how you argue your case or how you do what to your case. Those, yeah, you know. So let me what yeah,
Education it has cost so much.
Mhm.
It has created levels whereby people are being rated based on their level of education. But again, education has opened doors for so many people.
Yeah.
education has done what we call, it has acted as an equalizer, whereby,
Mm.
it has given, I mean, especially the poor, an opportunity to get to reason even with the rich. It has gotten to opportunity upon a point where when one is learned, they are needed, their service, their knowledge is needed. And so even those who have the companies, those who run these big companies, the rich, they are forced to actually interact with these people with knowledge so that they can help them in, you know, impacting knowledge on what they're doing. So education, I think more of it is, it has more of the advantages, but of late, it is not really, it is still very important, but of late, what we are seeing, especially in Kenya, it is becoming or changing the value. It's actually depreciating, I would say so, because if you can see, currently in Kenya, we have a member of parliament who left in standard 7, cannot read
So,
even.
Makubura, that's now where the problem is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
where the
yeah.
problem is. Because
So that's
now, now the reason why I'm telling you that now that's where the problem is, because now the education has made us judge people in terms of their level of education. Yeah, because uh, if somebody is not educated, you know, before the society, he's nobody. And even if he has wealth, people will question how can somebody who has not gone to school can amass such wealth, you know. And that's what now them one them is talking about, like the brainwash, that we believe there are some things that only can be achievable by the learned or the people who have gone to school.
Bro Benson, I think it varies from one community to the other.
Yeah,
Sometimes in your community you might be questioned, but other community they not question whether you're educated or not. Whether you have health, they will embrace you. There are some community they will question your education. But if you have wealth, you don't go to school. But also the the irony is, even if you are educated
yeah.
and you not have wealth, they will
Mm.
also look down upon you. So
Yes.
in my principle, don't live for people. Don't live for you. Just do your things your way.
Yeah.
Do not live to please anybody. Just don't worry about whether you are educated or not, because some people don't get chance to go to school. Some people
Mhm.
have to go to school. But what I can say, education is good because education is the only equalizer tool for condition of all men. It is only through education that you can sit with a son or a daughter of a minister in the
Yeah.
same classroom. Because
Mhm.
were it not for education, there's no way you can meet them. It's only through education that you can learn some basic things. Even though you can learn some very basic things, but education also is
Mhm.
a step ahead. So I can't oppose education. I support education fully, and I'm full in it. But we should not view things that how will my community look at me, how will the people talk about me. That is Bangladesh. You should just concentrate on your things, provide
Yeah.
that you are on the right track. Do not worry about this thing, education, whether learned, wisdom, knowledge.
Yeah.
Some are just from God.
Yeah, it is true what you are saying, Miguda. But now, when we are reflecting in terms of the African traditional way of life, you know, you just go back to your tradition, you know, because each and everybody has a tradition, you know. Yeah. When it comes to formal education, the formal education is where you go to the classroom, yeah, and you acquire this knowledge, you know. So when you go back, and if you read the history of, um, I'm supporting education, but that now we're just throwing and trying to give views. I'm not saying that education is not good, but I'm just reflecting you, bringing you back to the older generation and compared to what our brother was saying, that it kind of brainwash people. that we've seen the how sometimes education, and somebody, Gibson Connor also have said it here, yeah, uh, education has also created class. Yeah, yep. There's that class whereby you need to belong. You cannot just have this class. So yeah. So, but it is okay. We are not saying it is bad, but it is okay. But at the same time, there's the benefit and and the pro and the cons of education.
Yeah, it is okay. But
Mm,
if education has created class,
mhm.
class is a choice. You
No,
can choose. You can choose to belong or not to belong.
you
You know,
cannot eh, Miguda, let's say umesoma. Na, unajua, let's just be practical in some of our communities. Even when we have gathering, yeah, we have just gathering, yeah. Tuko tu na gathering, tuseme kwamba mtu ambaye labda ameenda shule alikuwa anataka kutoa hoja. Kwa hiyo harakati ya yeye kutoa hoja, wewe mwenye hujaenda shule umekuja, utasikia utafumaniwa. Mtu kwambia, wewe unasema nini? Hata kusoma ili kushinda. Sasa watu wamesoma hapa ndio wanaongea. Mara ngapi tumeona watu wakifumaniwa hivyo?
eh, it's long before I see that, but it used to happen. But I think nowadays even the society is transforming. But what I wanted to say is that not only education has brainwashed Africans, the way they're saying, there
Ehe,
are other things, other
like
factors also has brainwashed Africans, like
like
religion.
yeah, but
Like
religion came with education. Remember, the religion did not just come; it came with education at the same time.
even the structure of the government.
Yeah.
There are many factors that has brainwashed. If a matter of ATC, African Traditional Community, if you're talking
Yeah.
about ATC, where
Mhm,
we never had those formal education, we
mhm.
never had things like the structure of the government that we borrowed. We never had things like religion because we Africans we believe in our God, and the
Yes.
God used to provide for us and used to give us good health and good life, and
Mhm,
whatever we believe in used to happen. So,
mhm,
like the people used to believe in worshiping like sun, some people used to worship mountain. So
mhm.
they used those miracles used to happen
Yeah.
until now the religion came with the formal education and we were converted. Like me, I was converted to the Jews culture. And to date, I found myself practicing the Jews culture because when I was growing up, I had no environment to learn the African culture. Because where
Yes.
I was, where I grew up, we
Uh-huh.
were in a setup of learning the Jews culture, Jesus
Uh,
Christ of Nazareth, the Israelites. So that's how I grew up today. So it's very hard to get me back to the traditional African society. So sometimes it's by default.
yeah. So, well, depending on, so do this. Just if you have small money, Miguda, just keep some money. I will take you through some African traditional classes, so uh, Ama Makobura, where you're well versed with your traditional and cultures and everything.
I believe I'm a typical
Yeah.
African
Uh-huh.
and got Kweru Kene is the only thing that I was unable to, because last time we were talking about something and you said got Kweru, and there's that place that the Lejo people go to pray.
Uh,
That is the only thing that I was not aware of. But when
mm,
you reminded me, it has stayed into my mind. I think the culture of the African culture was more of similar with what was brought by the whites,
mhm,
by the Westerners.
mhm,
The only difference is the approach, because Africans believed in a God
mhm.
and they believed in that supernatural power. Uh, it's only that they had different names
Uh,
for their
uh,
gods,
okay.
but everything really is similar. I don't see any difference.
There's a big difference, Makobura. if you take your time, you will see how the African traditional way of life is quite much different with what we've borrowed or what was brought to us. One of the different one is about the conveying of the information. You know, African used to give information. Majority of Africans or Africa, it was oral information. It was not written because it was between the verbal to the ear. That's how we use. And the cultures and the values of the society were being taught differently, especially when you come. I can speak for the Luo community. Men, especially men, when they had a conversation with the father, they used to sit on the furnace that was in the middle of the home. And that's where now you're being taught on how to be a man. And these were very oral. The values of the society, the norms, and all that. But for our girls or our sisters, they were being taught on how to be good people or good women in the society during the time that the mother was preparing food. That's how you're taught on how to take good care of the family. And if you go further, it will also tell you how there's a difference between the head of the family and the head of the homestead. When you come to, you might correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, in the Luo culture, the head of the homestead was the father, and the head of the family was the mother. Yeah, that's why you find there are some areas where uh, our mothers could not talk, especially when it comes to negotiation of the dowry. The mothers will not talk. You know, when it comes to issues to do with land, they will not talk. You know, yeah. So they were quite much so many things, and that's where you find, especially even when it comes to prayers. You know, when you come to the Christianity, you compare the Christianity and any other religion, they have what we call the intercessors that we look at. For example, when we talk about Christianity, we have that Jesus Christ is between them and the gods. You know, when you come to Islam, we have Muhammad and they are religion. But now when you come to Africa, we do not have religion. We had what we call the spirituality. And that's why you find sometimes people call the spirit of Ubuntu. Yeah. And African believed in two spirits. One was the spirit of the living dead and the spirit of the ancestors. So when we talk about the spirit of the living dead, the spirit of the living dead, these are the people who died in your presence. If at all your father died when you already are born, then we call those are the living dead. We believe in their spirit because we did confirm or we see them die. They left us when we are still alive. So we call them, those are the living dead. But if your grandfather died before you were born, that is the ancestors. And the prayers that were done through the living dead and the ancestors. And that would take you to Nigeria. That is a typical example where you can find where even God existed. The southern part of Nigeria, they believe in what we call the God of Oludimare. And the God of Oludimare mean creation. So they believe in God even before the colonization. There's also incidents that shows that African had temple before even the coming of the colonization. Go to Ethiopia, you'll get what we call the Labela temple. These are the place for worship. That is one. Then now comes to the African traditional way of life, whereby Africans had shrines. And the shrines were not bad. The shrines were a place where Africans would go and speak to the spirits of the living dead and the spirit of our ancestors, just in case if the society we've done something wrong, and that's where you would go and bring these sacrifices. We are talking to the ancestors, and for example, we are experiencing drought for 3 months. The wise men will go before the shrines, and they will talk and ask for forgiveness if there's something that they've really done wrong. Then they will do sacrifices. Then the following day, the rain will come. Now, if you come to the Christianity where they say that God is omnipresent, even in African traditional society, they believed in their gods. God was omnipresent. And that's why each and every thing or anything was given a name. In Africa, there was a god of fertility, god of the rains, god of agriculture, god of the sun, god of the moon, god of everything, you know. So they can evoke the name of God every time. So that is, maybe if I'm wrong, you can correct me, Miguda, or anybody in the comment section.
I want to add a flavor
Yeah.
on your thoughtful contribution and very significant. And I'm going back to the Nigerian country to give you the typical African setup. You know, Nigeria has got that very elaborate example.
Yeah.
To be precise, the Igbo community, the people of Igbo.
Yeah.
If you go to Enugu State, some Delta State, if you go to those states in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you will understand that that indeed African had a spiritual world. where- But the intersection between the living
Mhm.
and the ancestors or the living dead or the dead, we have three: the dead, the living dead, the dead, and the ancestors
Yeah.
were gods or goddess. Because if is a male, is called gods. If a female, she become goddess, and they were residing in shrines. And shrines were holy places whereby you go to seek intervention from the world of the living and the world of the dead. The
Yeah.
reason why I was bringing the issue of intercessor,
Mhm.
there was some significant role the gods used to play in goddess. The gods, whenever they have seen any calamity to the living, they could prophesy or they could foretell the future. They have received communication from the ancestors. Another thing, when someone died and left behind a widow
Mhm.
or they left behind orphans,
Mhm.
they wanted those orphans or widows to be taken care of. So when you are left behind to take care of those widows or orphans, but you are not taking care of them, or in a case whereby you want to be a king, in the case
Mhm.
of Nigeria, or in the
Mhm.
case of Igbo community, if you want to be a king, but you are not providing food to the orphans, to the widow, providing basic needs, the group were not happy with you. The spirit, the land of of the dead ancestors could communicate with the gods that we have anointed and appointed so and so to be our king of the land, because the king will take care of widows and orphans, because he has a good heart of
Mhm.
giving people they basically basic things like food and shelter and also peace to society. And there
Mhm.
were some consequences or punishment whereby there was set up more of a setup of a court whereby if you commit, there were some crimes like
Mhm.
crimes against humanity or crimes you committed to the community.
Yeah.
They could there were some consequences. Like you could be banished
Mm.
from your area to another land, unknown land. Some
Mhm.
people could be taken to evil forest, and
Mhm.
they will leave you there for the rest of your time until you meet your creator.
Yeah.
And also, if you commit crimes like crimes against humanity, you
Yeah.
could be buried alive. Some used to be buried alive. That's how they used to have those consequences. So indeed, I can
Mhm.
say Africans have their own culture and practices and have their own belief,
Yeah.
unlike the Western people. We had our own belief and we live in the spirit world.
Yeah. And Marco Bur, I don't know whether you know something about it, and it's something that also happened in Africa. People usually take it for granted. You know, it was a mandatory, especially when you meet somebody in Africa, you have to say hi. It was. And every time you meet somebody, you have to greet. And if failure to do so, that was you could be even taken before the elders and be questioned and be said that this the son of so and so is very disrespectful. And the reason is the greetings were believed to be from the spirit, because when especially in the morning, when you wake up, they believe when you go to sleep, you are in another world, which means you're semi-dead. You cannot know what is happening. So when you wake up tomorrow and greet so and so, you meet them in the morning and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And that 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 alone connects you to the ancestors, the spirit of the land. You have it. And when you look at long back in the days, people used to be very friendly in Africa, whereby if you are going somewhere, you are being sent to another community, and the sunset reaches, you will branch to another any home on your way, and they will welcome you. They will have stories with you, which today we don't do. They will welcome you, they will give you food, they will trust you, and they will ask you, "Where are you coming from?" And in the midst, when you are doing your stories, they will know, "Oh, you are coming for such a king." Oh, we know we do for them trading. So the Africans were very, very, very much friendly. Ayaga, what is Ayaga saying? Hey, oh, he's greeting. So it is, and
I think this is a discussion that can be well done by one Eric Ayaga. I think
Ayaga, no,
I don't know if you can
I,
join. I think this is where Ayaga really fits. Ayaga
no,
is
I doubt Ayaga.
Ayaga. Can I tell you one thing that I've always known?
uh,
And brothers and sisters coming from this Siaya County,
uh,
they have good history. I think if you see part of, I think Kisumu County,
mhm,
Homa Bay and Migori,
mhm.
we are not very much well versed with the history of Luo land.
We are.
Most of us, yes, we are, but I've interacted with our brothers from Sia. I'm telling you,
Uh,
this is a discussion that Eric Ayaga can, and they still have the original way of referring to all these things.
yeah,
At least us nowadays, since we've interacted with Kiswahili and English, we even changed the names of very important things.
yeah, I agree with
So,
you. Yeah.
yeah, so Eric Ayaga, first, let me just read his nini. I don't, Eric is saying, I don't know why the people are dying nowadays. They can't send dreams.
uh,
Siku hizi kitambo tulikuwa tunaambiwa ati mtu akikufa na send dream anasema
uh,
like they give you some good messages which can help you prosper and places you are supposed to avoid.
mhm.
I can also see people are taking too much water. That is why when they die, they don't find time to send dreams.
Yeah.
And Laman is saying that if you want to get real Nigerian beliefs, read The Concubine by Elachi Amadi.
Yes.
And then vibes dem anasema yaga yaga mkora wa Butembei.
Yeah.
Aha. And also see Ayaga is responding here. I Gypsy Corner. I greet you in the name of my ancestors, Yongo Ward Misiani. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Eric, Gypsy Corner is asking Eric, what's her what? And Yongo Nature Vibes is saying Yongo Ward Misiani ni Iru. I don't know. I fought Ayaga before he knew Gitash. This is a funny comment.
No. But like,
Eric, you lost me, Jesus Christ. Nah. Yeah,
you know,
so the topic is very educative. Ayaga is accepting that, but I don't know if Ayaga can join. Let him just confirm. I
if you
think
can,
he has what it takes
you
to
know,
discuss this
if
topic.
you, yeah, if I don't know whether you got a chance to read the River and the Source. It's a very nice book
Yes,
by.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
If
I
if
think I have that story well. I'm
yeah.
well versed with that story.
So if you read me good, have you read the River and the Source?
I Kevin, that was my favorite set
So,
book.
and from the beginning, if you read the River and the Source, it will give you a typical scenario of how Luo is. You know, it gives you from the time the marriage is done to the time the child is born. Especially in the if you remember very well how a Coco was born. Yeah, how many a Coco cried for how many hours?
When Akoko was born, Akoko
Yeah,
was Akoko was a stubborn daughter.
yeah,
When she was born, she
mhm,
cried like I think 72 hours.
yes,
Then
And at some point,
let-
they believed the child was a boy.
yeah. No, they did not
but
believe the child was a boy. No.
later
Mhm,
the grandmom came and
mhm.
called her Akoko.
After how
Then the
many? Because
child stopped
Akoko,
crying.
no, Akoko came so much late because during the time Akoko was crying, before she was named Akoko, there are so many names of the ancestors that were called, but she did not stop crying until the Akoko was named. The very moment Akoko was named, the baby went quiet, and we are told they slept for so long. And Akoko was very exceptional, you know. And now, when you come to his marriage, there was this young man called Obura was Workembo, the chief. He's prostitute, a man of Nyadi. Buana, do you know all those? Nyadi is style in Kijalu in English.
And let me tell you another one.
Eh,
There was one called Polo. Do you know that one? Tuom Polo.
Tumpolo.
And there was the other one was who was called Jasunga. Whenever he walks, women could admire her until they drop their pots full of
Owa.
water.
Ali, was it
Wangsini.
Wangsino?
Yeah. And the problem I have with the writer,
Eh,
the writer killed all the male characters in that story.
yes, because the reason why the male characters were being killed because it was moving from traditional to civilization. So they were saying on how people have civilized and giving the women the power. That is what I think. I did not do that book, but I usually take time to read it. It's one of my favorite book, The River and the Source. If you are on the comment section, kindly go read the book, The River and the Source. It's so much resourceful on the traditional, on how people come from traditional, and even the Kisumo was the Kisoma. It was not Kisumo, it was Kisoma. Nyabera,
Kisumu.
read about Nyabera, read about Workembo, Bura Kembo, Tino
And
Kembo.
yeah, it was about civilization because even that was the introduction of the tarmac road. And they used to call tarmac road a long, dark snake.
Snake. Yes.
Mm.
So Nyadi is
Jorochere came with a long, dark snake.
yeah,
And they were
and
kissed.
the Manyo Pesa, all that it tells you on how, and even on how transition takes place. And if even it also talked about the role. If you look at it, it also talked about the role of women, especially if you are the odd Mikai, you know, Mikai is the eldest wife, which was very very important for any lady who is going to be married. Like if you get Mikai, that is one of the best positions that you would have. So just share Oh, Concubine. I also read Concubine too. I also
That one,
yeah.
that of Laban Mutiani should mark it so that we are going to look for it tomorrow. Makubura will bring it tomorrow from the bookshop.
Okay.
That
No
one
problem.
of Laban Mutiani, that one from
Concubine.
Nigeria.
Yeah, the Concubine. And also
Mm.
another one from Nigeria that is also very good, A Man of the People by Chinua Achebe. It tells you, it talks about the politics of Africa, where you have the Chief Nanga and the young teacher Odidi with this beautiful lady called Edna. Those are some of the books that I usually read at my own time. So it gives you a scenario of, yeah, it's so good. Anyway, Makobura, let me sort out some issues. You can continue, or you can close the show. And I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been with me through this time. And we will meet tomorrow. Thank you so much, Makobura. You can continue.
Okay, thank you, brother Ben. Oh, Eric was saying he was waiting for the link. I don't know whether he has now slept or he's still there. I did see that. So maybe let Eric kindly confirm if you want to give your opinion on that. I send you the link or we close the show. Because you are atypical and we respect the place or the county that you're coming from. We know the historians, most of them are coming from your county. So for that respect, confirm if you're available, we give you a chance, you give us a few history before we close. Or okay. We gotta be prepared because Eric is coming and he'll start with you. I've shared the link. Meanwhile, let me read the comments. Brother Ben, kindly find a copy of Concubine. You will love it. Okay. Nature Vibes Dev anasema Ayega simtishe. And then I'm too old, Omer. I did the river between two ridges. Okay. Ayega is trying to to threaten us. What else? What else at the comment section? The topic is very educative. Okay. That's okay. Laban is saying, I don't understand Luo despite having a Luo name. Okay, I fought Ayega before he knows Gitash. Okay. Yeah, so to our viewers, Ayega is here. Eric the Nairobian. Eric ni mtu wa Nairobi. And he can give you the history of Nairobi, all the corners of Nairobi. He's one guy who has a good history. Mr. Eric, say hi to our viewers and give us your opinion.
Hi, mambo saseni.
What I can also see one dame is also here.
Maisara alikuwa ananisumbua hapa, wacha nimshughulikie. Huyu pia amefika huku. Niambie kijana, long time. I can't hear you. Oh, uko poa? Mimi niko poa. Makobura, I can't hear him very well.
One dame, welcome. Maybe let Ayaga give his take, and then you just come immediately after his opinion. Just be on standby, kindly. Ayaga, you can proceed.
Yes, ulikuwa
history.
Which one? Unajua niliingia katikati, so
We were,
Sijasikia.
Gypsy Corner is asking who is the other guest. Let me clarify to Gypsy Corner that this is one dame. Yenda ameshinda akicomplain that block. We didn't block anyone. Yes, I think I've clarified that. So
Ayenga, unanisikia? Ayenga.
I don't know why he's muted. Ayaga, just unmute. You are muted.
Kodi Ayenga ana
Yes,
masikio, huyu jamaa ana masikio.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Ah, you can hear me. Mimi sigai kizungu basi. I can hear you. Unasikia?
No, I can get
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Maybe one dem can give us his version of what we were talking
Kwani
about.
umefichwa chini ya kitanda? Bibi alikufanyia nini? Kwenda huko wewe. Yeah.
Eko ni mingi.
Okay,
Toka chini ya kitanda mzee. Toka chini ya kitanda.
Okay, to our viewers, this is the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. We are having our good friends Eric Ayaga and
I can't. Akona eko mingi, siwezi msikia.
Okay, so Mr. Eric, we were talking about the culture, the African culture, and how the behavior has suddenly changed. And we ended up we were just trying to give a brief history of where we've came from. And that is why we were saying that sometimes back, even when you are going to meet your elders, you'd greet them with a lot of respect. And then all of a sudden things changed. We had our gods. And so Ben was simply trying to say that with the introduction, with the coming of the Westerners, they simply changed everything, and we've forgotten about our history and where we've came from as a people and as Africans.
Yeah. I think that is very true. That's very, very true. What has destroyed our African value and culture is Christianity, not Western culture. It is Christianity. It is Christianity that they came with Christianity and told us that our culture is evil. Now that's where the rain started beating us. Even baptizing people with their original name was a problem. Like even up to now, there are some churches that can't baptize you with the real African name, like two African names. And that is what we have been fighting for, mostly where we come from. We love traditional names. That's why I mostly use my two traditional names. I rarely use Rick, but I use my two traditional names in most of platforms. Because number one, we have to embrace our culture, and we I think our gods left us because we took our gods to be inferior to foreigners' God. Even now, if you tell these people that Jesus was this and that, people will curse you. They will tell you how foolish you are. They will call you names. My brother here with the specs, with the darks here, will tell you how you are stupid to don't recognize Jesus. This guy started fighting me from long time ago, some years back. So I used to his fights. Leo unioni macho. leo unioni macho. Utaniona siku ingine. But I think I think hiyo ilikuwa a very good topic, and Makubura, you see unakaa umechoka. Let us discuss this issue maybe tomorrow or another day. I will be available and I will meet this my brother here.
Okay.
Anitumie pesa, amekula Amerika huko, amenona hapa, wao ndio walipigia Ruto kura.
Okay, I think we'll create a discussion where we'll be talking about this topic that you started here. But meanwhile, acha nipe one day a chance to say something to you. One day you can get back to, you can tell Mr. Yaga something. And our viewers, Gypsy Corner is also at the comment section. She amekukaribisha
kuongea Kizungu, unasikia? Acha
Yes,
nijibu. Acha nijibu huyu jamaa. Let me respond, eh? Adi?
yes, respond.
Hmm? Okay, let me tell you something, Erica. Your name is Eric, right? Huh?
Yes, proceed. We can hear you.
Yeah? Eric. Hebu acheni simu ya Eric kwanza, ache kujificha ficha nyuma ya nini? Ya network. No. Eric.
We can hear you. Proceed. He's still here.
Okay.
Niko hapa.
Hiyo simu yake ina drag, unaona? Ina drag. Hiyo simu ya Eric ina drag.
Just proceed. This here is listening.
Nataka kumsomea roho safi. Namsomea sasa hivi.
Anakusikiza.
Nataka kumsomea. Yeah. Okay, Eric, this is what's going on. Okay, unasikia Eric? Eric Ayega.
Yes, drop. I think he's having a network problem. You can just address him. He's at the comment section.
Okay. This is what's gonna happen with Eric. I think Eric is sick in the mind. Okay, to me, you know. Okay. What are your address? Yeah?
I think we do this. Let's do this.
Ukiangalia Eric vizuri. Eric tumetoana yeye mbali sana.
Yes, dropped. I think I should wait for you another time. You
Eric anafaa kuwa mental hospital kwanza. Hata kabla tujaanza kuongea sasa hivi. He needs to be in a mental institution. Unasikia? Unasikia? So, hapa tunaongea kuhusu clients na patients. Clients and patients. Eric is a client or a patient. Ona? Yeah? Hapa tunaongea kuhusu mambo ya ukweli. Si ujinga. Unaona? Huyu jamaa anafaa kuata. Eh? Hata anafaa kuwa jela.
Can you hear me?
Unaona?
Can you hear me?
Hata jela. Juu tuliongea na yeye. Nilimwambia aje. Nikamwambia aje. ongea Kizungu. Unaona? Nikamwambia aje.
I think
Kama ni upuzi tuongee upuzi. Unaona?
you're not very clear. I don't know why.
Tashika.
You're not very clear. Can you drop and then you come again?
Upuzi tuongee upuzi. Lakini kama ni education tuongee education. Nani ya drop akuje? Nani ya drop? Nani ya drop?
You're not
Sasa
very
nikamwambia aje.
There's too much echo from the side and it's dragging. I think can you drop and then you come
Sasa
again?
Mimi
Yes, you're not clear. You're not very clear.
mimi ni drop.
Yes, drop and then you come again.
Obura. Nani ako na network problem? Okay, I will drop. I will drop and come again.
Okay.
I will drop and come again. Hmm? Okay, I will drop. I will drop and come again. I will drop.
Eric Ayaga, umeanza haya ukatoroka, umeniacha sasa peke yangu. It's okay. You are one day wants to address you here and you're no longer auko. No, I don't block anyone. Kindly don't say that. I don't always do that. Eric, you should come back and finish with one name before we close. I don't know if you'll be able, or I just close. I can see the comments. Eric, you are always in disguise. What's your other name? My name is Oyuga Ayaga Gypsy Corner. Okay. Your friend amekula nini? Rwata. Hujatuambia hiyo rwata ni nini? That's great, Eric. Gypsy Corner, now you can see rwata effects. I know why. No, me, I don't block people kindly. And next time I'm a choke, I just close. Okay. Eric, we don't block here. Yeah, that's true. We don't block here. So yeah, so to our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media. I can see one day 99 has gone back to the comment section. Wacha wapigane huko na Eric. Eric, I hope you have uko na number ya one day 99. You can sort the issues behind the scene. To our viewers, we're very much grateful. If you're new, we kindly request you to subscribe and be part of Brother Benson Media. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone, Gypsy Corner, Eric Kayaga, Wandem99, and there was also Nature Vibe Dem and everyone who engaged us. Laban Misiani, thank you so much. And then everyone who commented who shared what they had at the comment section, we really appreciate, and we request you to invite your friends and everyone so that we can grow as a team. One day 99 we are going to create a session where we'll be discussing, the African culture, and if I do that, I'll invite Eric Ayaga, and possibly we'll let you know so that you'll come and tell us what you know about the culture of Africans. Na hiyo siku utapatana na Eric Ayaga. Yeah, so I'm just closing the show. If you have anything at the comment section, kindly you can say something before I close. You can say something before I close. To everyone, we're very much grateful for your support and for your consistency. We really appreciate. At the comment section, if there's anything pending, kindly notify me before I close the show. Eric Ayaga, when do you want us to have this conversation? Kindly say something at the comment section. The culture of Africa is okay. Thank you, Gypsy Corner. Is one thing that we need to find time and have a discussion about. Eric, I think maybe he has left. Okay. Then allow me to close the show. We are very much grateful. I'm taking this opportunity to wish you a blessed evening, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening. Thank you, Gypsy Corner, and everyone at the comment section. And I'm wishing you a blessed time. Until tomorrow, thank you and bye-bye.